Welcome back, guys. We're continuing the conversation with Greg and Alex from SOBA, Texas. And when we left, we were talking about parents and their involvement. You had something very interesting to say about that.
Well, when I brought it up at a PTA meeting, there are people got worried about privacy. And when it comes to my kids, if I think they're doing something that could possibly hurt them, privacy isn't an issue anymore. I'm going to find out what's going on before I have a really bad problem. And if your kids come to my house and I think they're on drugs, I'm going to test them there too.
Oh boy, there you go. It is too serious of a matter to dismiss, and you're going to take matters into your own hands. That is good to know.
And how do we? I'm so sorry. I just wanted to chime in on that, the whole seriousness of it. But you know, she did answer that. I was going to say how, but she did that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, we're going to talk about rock bottom. Okay, that's the last place that you want to be, and you guys have seen plenty of people that are there. How can we, maybe if we know somebody who's heading that direction, step in and help before they get there?
It's a term that they use, you know, that somebody has to hit rock bottom before they get enough motivation to want to get
so
out.
many times.
So, you know, it's the whole saying of I have to be at my worst place in order to want to change. And unfortunately, it's not a good way to look at it because rock bottom could mean death. So, you know, you don't want to wait till somebody keeps digging their grave or digging a hole and hurting all the support system around them. So when you're going and trying to find that rock bottom or going towards that, you're hurting more people around you, you're doing more damage, and you don't have to get to the rock bottom to start helping.
Well,
and
how can you reach out to them before they even, to prevent that, even going to rock bottom, you know?
Well, rock bottom is kind of an easy term, and they have a saying that rock bottom is where somebody quits digging. So too many people there. I'm not a big like tough love and get mad at people. It is try to figure out, and then rock bottom can just be how you feel. And it doesn't mean you have to get in trouble or go to jail or go to the hospital or any of those things. And it's kind of like, yeah, if it goes too far, there's things that you can't fix, and you know it is just very important to be proactive immediately. Don't wait for anything.
Now, would proactive necessarily mean quitting? Is quitting always the answer to recovering?
Well, quitting isn't. Quitting and recovering are two different things.
Explain that to me.
People, they can quit drugs and alcohol. Usually it's a temporary situation. Recovering, there's always deeper-seated things that are going on. There's reasons why people drink or use drugs to excess, and recovering is figuring out what those are. And it's also getting you within a community of people that don't do things. If I'm a kid and all my buddies are using, and I'm the outcast, it's very hard for me to not follow the herd. And when I am recovering, it includes meeting other people who are not doing that, and then I'm not the outcast anymore. And it takes a little while. It takes a while for people to get better from what's bothering them.
Definitely. You know, when you're trying to help somebody and you're actually hurting them, how do you get to that without actually hurting them in the long run?
Well, sometimes they have a saying that you can love them to death, and it is one of the first kids that I brought from San Antonio. I guess it's been about 6 months ago. It was his dad called and had asked and said that he thought he might be on drugs, which I immediately told him then he is on drugs. And I went over and I asked him some things, and the kid had a car. He was 20 years old, living at home, had a car, had money, had rims on the car, you know, all of this stuff. And I said, well, you know, why isn't he working? Why, yeah, and how long have you known this? And he knew that he had a problem for a while, but yet he was afraid to approach it for, you know, his kids would run off. And so many times I see people that they don't put a boundary, and it's kind of like when something is going on, you need to put a boundary, and the boundary is we need to go and talk to somebody, we need to go to treatment, we need, giving them money, giving them a job, sending them away to school, those things, they escalate the problem. They don't de-escalate it.
Well, you know, a lot of great information here. I'm sure you're really speaking to some people who might know somebody in this situation. They might be in this situation themselves. So we're going to continue the conversation with SOBA Texas. Up next, we're learning about the popularity of one drug in particular that is growing at alarming rates.